You know, there's something special about a one-owner car, especially one that someone's had for a really long time. I always wonder, how come they never sell it? There's a lot of reasons why. But I think with Harold McEachran's case in his 1980 Scout, maybe he didn't sell it because it saved his life.
And my wife was 8 months pregnant with our first child, and we have our tractor trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And Harold McEachran from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. That's my 1980 International Harvester Scout.
You are the only owner of this car.
Yes, I bought it in July of 1980. Well, that's the interesting part, is that the salesman actually came to our house because I had called the dealership, said I was interested in the 1980 Scout. And he said, well, we don't have one in the lot, but we have one in Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Okay.
So the salesman came up and he talked to me and he told me what it had on it. And I told him, I says, well, I want the roof rack on it. It didn't have the roof rack on the actual car.
Okay.
That was in Pittsfield. So they brought it from Pittsfield. He sold it to us right in our backyard at our house. I was really impressed with that. I had a 72 Scout before this.
Really?
But it was only a two-wheel drive, 6-cylinder, 3-speed, and I really liked it.
Okay, and you just want another one?
Just wanted another one.
And I'm sure you didn't know that this was going to be the last year they made it.
Actually, at that time, I knew they were on strike, okay? And I knew things were tough, so it wasn't a surprise. It's a 196 4-cylinder, 3-speed, 373 rear end.
Okay.
That's pretty basic. There's really not many options on it. Russet interior, but it's the deluxe interior in the sense that the rear seat's actually extra. That's an option.
Really?
Yeah. So you pay extra for the rear seat at that time. But it did come with power steering with standard. There's no air.
Still?
Still.
Okay, yeah.
Still, because I tried to get it back to the way it was that was delivered to me. Yeah, this is me back in 1981, returning from a fishing trip with my wife, and we had just been canoeing on the Oswegatchie River. And this is my father's little dog named Snooky, and he seemed to be pretty interested in the smallmouth bass that we had just caught. And then down here is how it was delivered to me in the summer of 1980, and my goal was to have it look as it was delivered to me. Except it's got the snow tires on it, the hubcaps I do have upstairs in my garage, and I just always wanted the raised BF Goodrich tires on it when I was younger, but I couldn't afford it when I was younger, so I had just put regular white spoke wagon wheels and regular tires on. It was delivered that way, and it said 4x4 four-wheeler on it. And at that time, there was a lot of four-wheeler magazines, and in 1980, it was in that magazine from Peterson Publishing for a number of issues.
Okay.
I think Sherman Bach had been racing the Baja with it and out in the West.
What does this truck mean to you?
Well, it really gets pretty emotional at times because,
No, that's great, man. Go ahead, take your time.
Okay, so what happened was we bought it in 1980, and in January of 1982, my father-in-law passed away. And so we were on our way to his wake, and my wife was 8 months pregnant with our first child, and we have our tractor trailer.
Oh, yeah.
And so it basically, snow squall came up. I see the trailer in my mirror, says International on the tractor.
Really?
He moves into the passing lane and then he jackknifes. And at this time, there's already a jackknife trailer in the center section already at the same spot. and that's why the traffic's all backed up. And so he slowed down enough, so he just pushed us into the guardrails, and it was like a snowplow. We didn't get hurt, no glass broke, just got banged up a bit.
Would you say that the truck
saved our lives.
Truck saved
Definitely, because the height is just around the door handles is where it got sideswiped down through the trailer, and so then we finally did make it to the wake. And
you made it.
We made it to the it drove away.
Yeah.
But we're just glad to be here.
This is the stuff that's fascinating to me. I can see why, but like, I always wonder why these long-term ownerships or one-owner cars, people never sell them. And I know that you restored it, and I'm wondering, even before you restored it, maybe when it was at its worst, how come you didn't sell it then?
Well, actually, I had at one time intention to have my daughter drive it to high school.
Yeah.
So that would be like 1998.
Oh, how cool! Yeah, okay.
And so 91 is when it was last on the road. And so it was in my garage, and I said, what color do you? I actually started painting blue spray paint. She liked blue, and then it just got to the point I said, I'm never going to finish this in time, And
Yeah.
obviously I didn't, because she's like 44 now. So
So this has been sitting since 91?
yes,
Okay, so, all right. And then you just recently restored it?
about a year ago.
Really?
About a year ago, yeah.
So it sat for 30 years, maybe?
Yeah.
You restored it. How long did that take you?
Probably 7 years steady, but it's longer than that, but about 7 years steady work.
Well, I have to say, like, you sent me videos, but when I walked in, I'm really surprised. I mean, that thing looks incredible, brand new.
Well, a lot of YouTube videos involved.
Yeah.
Because all the welding and all the sheet
Yeah.
metal work I did myself, and obviously there was some Scout stuff that was on Binder Planet, something like that, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And the guy had taken one that was worse than mine and redone it. And from him, I learned a lot from him how he did it. So I learned a lot from that. And as far as the welding goes, that was just learned by doing. Originally, I actually contacted International Harvester, and they actually sent me the brochure of the 1980 Scouts. And you can see the schematics here and the details. And I actually have the original window sticker here. And
How much was it?
let's see, I have to look it up. It was $8,538.75 was the MSRP. And I think I actually purchased it for like 78.
Okay.
And this is the actual EPA window stickers. And
16 miles a gallon?
yep, 16 miles per gallon. Yep,
Was it your intention in the beginning to restore it to original specs?
yes.
Okay, that's great. Because you could have done so many different things.
Yeah,
like,
I thought, Cummins, put a
sure.
Cummins in it, or maybe an LS. I says, well, first thing I did before I actually started is I wanted to make sure the engine ran okay. And so I'd take the plugs out, put some oil in it, crank the cylinders around a little bit, make sure it was lubricated, and then put it back in, rebuilt the carburetor, put the carburetor back on, and new plugs and wires, and it started up.
What were some of the hardest parts to find?
The hardest parts to find, well, a lot of them. The tailgate really bothered me as far as how bad it was. I went to a guy to see if he could fix it. I do insurance work. I don't do any of that stuff. So inner fenders, I found them on eBay in California.
Okay.
And Texas as well.
Yeah.
So one door and a fender came from California, and then another fender came from Texas, from the desert areas. So, because there was a lot of rust involved. So the original door is the driver's door. The passenger door's been replaced totally.
Well, I can't help but also keep staring because I know how challenging it can be to find. That's a 1-year grill. And that one looks pretty good.
It's the original.
Is it the original?
It's the original grill, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the squares?
Actually, I do.
You do?
I do like, I know that was the only year with
Yeah.
it, and a lot of people kind of like, but I always like, and they're halogens.
Well, everybody, for the most part, everybody's going to know that's an 80 just by when
Right,
it's
the
coming
only
under.
year.
What is your absolute favorite part about it?
I think it's just the way it feels, the way the shifter is. It's in the right location and stuff, and it feels strong,
Feels strong.
like
Yeah.
unbreakable.
Yeah. Hey, can't argue with that.
people don't know what it is either. And they always say, "Is that a Bronco?" And I go, "No,
Yeah.
it's a Scout." And then
Yeah.
sometimes I just say, "Oh, it's okay,
Yeah.
just move on."
Now, this is probably the stupidest question I ask, and if you've seen it, it's always the last one.
Okay.
But would you ever sell this?
I've thought about it,
Really?
in the sense that, what am I going to do with it? Because I am 73, going on 74, and in 10 years, where's it going to be? I think about it, but I really don't want to.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody was to offer me $150,000, well, sure, you can.
Sure.
No, I mean, there's been a lot of work. It was a labor of love. It really was working
Yeah.
on it.